Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm trying something out with a little bit of background music here. Look, this is the Fight Insight Podcast. It's the best damn podcast that your friends aren't already watching. Go tell them to follow and subscribe. And if this is your first time, give us a like and subscribe as well on whatever platform you're using. On today's episode, right now, I'm without my co-host, Brian BamBam Barberina, but he will join in the second half as we talk about UFC 316, as well as Macy Barber and the drama that went down last weekend. We give a little bit of a take on it that I think you might be interested in. It might be a take that other people aren't already giving you. But first, I talk to Mr. Johnny Eblen. You don't want to miss it. Let's get on with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Fight Insight Podcast.
All right, everybody, I am so excited. I am here without Brian BamBam Barberina, but for our guest today, I have someone that I've been waiting a long time to speak about. We've been talking about him on the show. Very interested to see about his upcoming fight. This is the current reigning and defending Bellator Middleweight Champion, ? He is fighting at PFL Africa as the headlining event, ? And I think maybe, ? he's fighting for the PFL inaugural middleweight championship. Who knows what's going on, but this is the man, the undefeated Johnny Eblen. Johnny, what's up, my man?
How you doing?
Good, my friend. Look, first off, I do want to say, I did not know that you were a halvesy, that you're Korean American.
Yeah, my mom is Korean. My father was in the military, and yeah, that's kind of how that happened, you know. Dad was in Army and was stationed in Korea and met my mother.
Very nice, man. That's very, very cool. And look, I'm a fellow halvesy of yours as well, of course. Halvesies are always the most handsome. Don't you agree?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
That's
Get the best of both worlds.
Exactly, man. Do you speak Korean at all?
I do not. I wish I did. Yeah.
Dude, because you know what? You would be amazing on Netflix. They've got those shows like Physical 100. I don't know if you've ever seen that. And they oftentimes bring in like halvesies and stuff like that like adopt to the Asian culture. You would be amazing on that show, man. So
yeah, I mean, that'd be great. It'd be great stock, you know. It'd increase my stock for sure.
Dude, it would be amazing.
Like that. Yeah.
Get Sucker Punch to make that happen, my man. Look, I want to get right down to it. This is incredible news that you are headlining. What we thought at the time was that you were headlining PFL Africa, but it is a little bit weird. It seems like there's two cards back to back. There's the PFL Africa inaugural event, and then there's the Champions Series. Is that your understanding?
Yeah, I'm not sure. All I know is I'm going to South Africa and I'm fighting. And
there you go.
That's all that really matters, you know. I'm not too worried about what exactly the event is and what's exactly happening. All I know is I'm headlining a card and I'm going to get paid to punch someone in the face.
That's right, my man. And look, 16-0, a perfect record in your career. I think it's 11 fights under the Bellator banner. Like essentially your whole career has been there. You've achieved incredible status there. Do you know, are you defending the Bellator title or are you fighting for the inaugural PFL title?
I don't think Bellator exists anymore, so I guess I'm a PFL middleweight champ right now, but I guess we're fighting for that belt. I'm not sure. I know that I'm still a champ because I haven't lost a fight in, you know,
ever.
And I beat Impa for like the super belt or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm fighting for the PFL middleweight title. I don't really care, bro. What really matters is the check clears, you know. That's more important to me. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, of course. But it is interesting because Usman Nurmagomedov, he fought after Bellator was sold. And I know Bellator was sold in case you think I'm a moron. But like Usman fought for a title after Bellator was sold and they strapped the Bellator title back on his shoulder at the end.
Yeah, I think they just didn't have time to like create a new belt. They just had what they had. So they were I think they're just rolling with the punches and doing what they can. Yeah, that's what it kind of seems like. You know, they're just doing the best they can with what they have, and this is what we got.
But look, man, you're a friggin' star. You're headlining this event. You've got Dakota Decheva on the co-main, which is an incredible fight as well. That one's not for a title. So I will tell you, Johnny, it's very odd if they strap the PFL title on your shoulder and don't let Dakota fight for a PFL title. Like if they figured out how to make that belt, make two of them.
Yeah, That might be contractual stuff. I'm not sure. I don't know.
All right.
Like I get the contract she came in on is different than the contract I came in on.
Okay.
She came in with a PFL tournament contract. I came in with a Bellator contract as a champion.
Right.
So now I want to fight 5 rounds. That's where I'm at. That's the level I'm at. Every fight I fight in should be a 5-rounder.
Of course.
And if I was defending my belt like any other time, it'd be a 5-rounder. And I'm a main event, should be 5 rounds. It is what it is. I'm not quite sure what's going on with her end, but I know she's a bad bitch and really, really good and one of the best in the world for sure.
Definitely, man. And look, greatness recognizes greatness, and so there you are. But look, what's in store for you? Because I will say, of all the Bellator champions, of all the Bellator superstars, they seem to be giving you the biggest shine, my friend. Like, I mean, you're the one that's getting fights. You're on that SuperFight card. You got to defend your title after that, and now here you are again. Where a lot of other athletes don't seem to be seeing that same recognition. So, what makes you different?
I'm not sure, man. Maybe that's just how things panned out. I know other champions that they acquired via Bellator didn't get like similar treatment, I would guess, but I don't know if that's because they favor me, maybe just because things fell in line for me. But yeah, I know they let go Patchy, they let go of Bader. I know Corey Anderson hasn't got a fight. I know they like Usman a lot. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not in those rooms having those talks, and all I know is I'm looking out for myself at the end of the day, and I need to make sure I fight at least 2 times a year, if not 3. And right now I'm getting 1, and I'm happy about it.
Sure, of course. Like, look, you want to get whatever you can get. I mean, we had Corey Anderson, who is on the card as well, who is a champion, but unfortunately his fight is not a title fight because he's moving up to heavyweight for his bout. But when we had him on, same thing. He's like, look, I just want to fight. I just want to get my fights in, make my money, and do my thing. So I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was interesting with how everything happened with him too, because Nemkov was really the champ, and then he fought somebody. I forgot his name. Guy from Ireland, right?
Nemkov did?
No. Nemkov left, and then Corey fought for the belt against an Irish guy. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm blanking on his name. I know him.
Worries.
But the talent pool at light heavy is kind of light right now.
Sure.
Because a lot of people are doing the tournament, and that's kind of what happened to me.
Right.
But I luckily got 2 fights before this happened, so it's kind of, he didn't. He got 1, and then the whole tournament thing happened, and then now it's like you don't really have people to fight.
You're stuck. Yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, Carl Moore was the guy that
Carl Moore. Yeah.
So
good fighter, great fighter.
Yeah, but so this is the thing though, because for you, like, okay, you go out there now, you go 17-0, you defeat your opponent Van Steenis. It's hard for you because you're like, well, what's next for me? Unless you bring in someone for me to beat up, it's not like there's a real division happening in the Champions Series. Is the next thing for you, you think, fighting the tournament winner?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what they're going to try to line up, but 2 of them are my teammates. 1 of them I fought twice, and the other guy is the only guy that would really make sense. Aaron Jeffrey. I'll fight my teammates, but it's not really like I'm here to try to fight the best guys in the world because I'm the best in the world. I'm not gonna fight my teammates. Like it doesn't make sense unless it really makes sense, But it doesn't. They're not ranked top 5 in the world, If my teammates rank top 5 in the world and we got to do it, we got to do it. I've had this conversation actually with Sean Strickland. We were like, hey man, like if we ever have to cross paths, should do it for a belt or something, Yeah. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. So that's just not the circumstances here. Yeah, it is for a belt, but it's not. We're talking about rankings here. We're talking about the actual best guys in the world, and beating my teammate doesn't really put me up a notch. Beating Fabian again doesn't put me up a notch. Honestly, beating Jeffrey again doesn't put me up, or not again. Beating Jeffrey doesn't put me up a notch. So I'm kind of like, there's no one left really. I've cleared out the division. We'll see. We'll see.
So then, of course, people are asking the question. Then what is next for you? Because you're 33 years old. You're in your prime. You have not faced any adversity. You've been able to overcome all challenges. How long, can I ask, how long are you in the contract with PFL? Like, how long will this last before possibly we see you go somewhere else?
I know early next year my contract expires, and I still have 3 fights on my contract, technically. So
Okay.
it's just however that plays out. Maybe I fight once, don't fight again, contract expires. We'll see what we do,
And there's no automatic.
Or I fight twice,
Right.
But like I said, I beat this guy. I'm not fighting top 5 guys in the world, just
Right.
plain and simple.
Yeah.
I'm a top 5 guy, top 3. I think I'm the best, but it sucks when you're there and you can't fight other guys that are ranked either ahead of you or right below you,
Right.
I'm fighting guys in the top 20, 25, maybe even 30, and, it kind of gets frustrating. And I'm just like, I just want to fight, but most importantly, I want to fight the best guys in the world.
For sure, man.
I want to fight the Chimaevs. I want to fight the Duplessis. You name it. The middleweight division's kind of changing right now, and I like it. I want to fight everybody. And
That's right.
I just don't have there's no capacity for me to do that with where I'm at currently. So it's a bit frustrating sometimes.
Of course, man. And look, we wish all the best for you, man, because like I've been following your career forever and I'm so excited for everything. And I have so many Bellator friends, man, that fight in Bellator. What I do understand and what you're explaining, for people that maybe don't understand is that from my understanding from speaking with Bellator fighters, the Bellator contracts are often time limited, unlike UFC fights that are fight limited. So that's why you're saying it does expire at a certain point next year.
Yeah.
That then gives you an opportunity.
Mine's both. It's both. It's like whatever occurs first, the time or the fights.
Yeah.
But they haven't been fighting me as much as I would like or whatever the contract was supposed to be. So we're running out of time.
That's fine. Yep. Yeah. But at least you have an out, right? Because we've seen where UFC fighters get stuck in a contract forever or for eternity and they can't get out because they don't fight it out. So.
But also it's like I didn't get paid my contract. If that makes sense.
Course.
I signed a contract with
$1.
I signed a contract with a dollar amount. And it ran out of time, but you also didn't give me the amount of fights that we agreed in the contract. So
for sure.
It's like I'm owed money technically, but we'll figure it out. We'll see what happens.
Well,
most importantly, I'm really focused this next fight against Vanstinas, and
yes, sir.
Just getting better every day as a martial artist, and having fun with it, and not really worrying too much about the future, and just living in the present.
Yeah. No, man, I'm happy for you, dude. Like I see you on Instagram and like I have your Instagram handle down below. It's at Johnny Eblen. Very easy to find. And look, man, you have a very nice life. You're living out life. You have a wife. Do you have children? No.
No,
children, just your wife.
We're going to wait. Yeah, we're going to wait. I got to get a UFC belt, PFL, whatever belt, fucking whatever that. I don't know. I need to fight the best guys in the world with zero distractions. I have to be selfish right now, and my wife knows that. And then we're going to work on having kids, whenever I meet those goals and I have the time to raise children and be a good father.
There you go, man. And look, I wish you all the best, man, in everything that you do. I can't wait. Look, bottom line, I can't wait to watch you July 19th at Bellator Champion Series / PFL Africa. It's the very first event that they're holding in Africa. So it's going to be explosive, man. And you are headlining the card. I did hear a little whisper that said they thought that Ngannou was going to fight on the card. Are you hearing that at all?
I don't know, that'd be cool. I don't give a shit, man. Ngannou's a cool dude,
Yeah.
He's real laid back and he's a monster,
Yeah.
I mean, I fought on the same card as him last time. Wouldn't mind doing it again. It'd make sense if he was fighting on that card because it's PFL Africa. But who's he gonna fight? Who they got?
I don't know. I'm not taking it on short notice, but they can find someone. I'm sure. I don't know what they're gonna do, man. Look, I'm very excited for you.
They're gonna get paid. That's for sure. So.
Well, sure, but then if you find some guy that's not worthy, I don't know how much you would pay the guy, though, right? Like,
I'm pretty sure in Ngannou's contract that he forced them to make sure they pay, I think, a minimum of
That's
like
right.
$1 million.
I think so. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
what his contract stipulation was. He wanted to be able to ensure that his opponents get money. But then that's the problem, though. If now I'm forced to pay his opponent $1 million, that guy better be worth $1 million. He better bring me 1 million pay-per-view buys.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, anyways, look, man, Johnny, I ask all my guests one last question at the end of the interview, so I want to ask it to you. It's a question my mom used to ask me almost every day of my life growing up. On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you?
Pretty happy, you know. I'd say like an 8. You know, eating food, life's good. Don't really have any stresses. I'm doing what I love for a job, and you know, I'm pretty happy.
I'm happy for you, dude. You've got good people around you, man. Obviously, I really want to appreciate Brian Butler for hooking this up for this interview with Sucker Punch Entertainment. Such a great guy. Great people that you have around you, man. And I'm very happy for your success. Congratulations and good luck to you, man. And we'll talk again one day. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right, Bam Bam. There we go. Welcome to the show, man. Look, here we go. We got a lot to talk about because this weekend is going to be an exciting event. We've got UFC 316 coming up. Boom. It's your boy, Sean O'Malley, as he takes on Merab Valishvili in the rematch. And then you've got Kayla Harrison versus Juliana Peña. Which fight are you more excited for?
The O'Malley fight.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
your friend,
you know, good friend of mine, good buddy, good family friend. So yeah, always rooting for him. Always, you know, watching his fights, excited for his fights. I think there's a couple more guys on that card that are good friends of mine. Mario Batista, I believe, is on that card. So I want to say there's one more on the same card, but he might be on a later one. But
wait, so Mario Batista's your friend? He's fighting Patchy Mix.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a crazy fight, man.
Yeah, he was supposed to fight. He was supposed to. Who was he supposed to fight first? Chito Vera.
Chito
Vera.
Yeah, Marlon Vera. Yeah. So now he gets. I mean, this is a better fight for him.
For sure.
I would say a harder fight.
Harder fight, but more eyes are going to be on this fight now too.
Jeez Louise, man. And look, if you can take out Mr. Patchy Mix, who for years was stated as being the greatest bantamweight not in the UFC.
Yeah.
Finally comes over, right? Complains to Dopey Don and PFL and Bellator and says, get me out of this contract. They finally release him. He comes right in. It is a very good fight. If you're Mario Batista, you must be super happy that you get this fight, but you also have to know that the UFC is feeding you to Patchy Mix. And so now it is your time.
You get to be the
shine. Get that massive upset. Get that Brian Bam Bam Barberina over Sage Northcutt upset, and then your career right to the top, baby. Yeah, absolutely incredible, man. That's a good one for him. And I do think he has a very good chance of beating him, man.
Yeah, he's very well rounded. Mario is very well rounded. Great everywhere. You know, he's definitely poses a lot of threats. Definitely, Patchy Mix shouldn't be taking him lightly. You know, as just someone he's going to be able to walk through and you know, shoot right to the top or something. I think Mario could really upset him.
Definitely, dude. So I do think so,
put him
man.
out, I think. Yeah,
definitely. I think so, man. And look, here's another thing. I always talk about gyms, and when gyms go on slumps and streaks, I will say his girlfriend / wife, whatever it is, Tatiana, lost pretty badly. Yeah, and those things flow, man. There's things there. Yeah, and if you believe in that, if you believe in the Timmy B way of looking at things, I would be betting big time. I would be betting big time on Mario Batista.
He's definitely going to be the underdog in the fight. So
of course,
the money's going to be there. The money's going to be there.
Look, let's go to the co-main though, where I have a vested interest because one of these fighters really hates me. That is Kayla Harrison, as she looks to get the 135-pound title. That's if she can make weight. I know this podcast will come out on the Thursday when probably she's already made weight. No, whatever. But anyways, will Kayla Harrison make weight is the big question. And then The question is, can Juliana Peña do it? Can she play a massive spoiler? This would literally be bigger than Matt Serra defeating GSP if Juliana Peña can defeat Kayla Harrison.
Who is Kayla Henderson the what's called, or is Juliana Peña the underdog?
Oh, it's got to be. I don't know what the betting line is, but
Okay.
I guarantee Kayla Harrison, man, with all the hype, the size, the everything.
Yeah.
18-1, she's coming in to take that title. And pretty much if she wins, she closes the whole division. Like, I don't know what's left for us at bantamweight if she wins. But here's the thing, man. Do you think Juliana Peña can get it done?
Yes. I mean, I do think she can, obviously. But I mean, tough test with Kayla Harrison. I mean, she's got a lot of good tools on her side as well. But I do think her striking is still, subpar. Like it's getting better, it's improving, but I feel like Peña has the sharper striking. And she's kind of a dog in there. She gets after it and she hangs tough and stuff. So the thing is going to be, is Kayla going to get her hands on her and drag her to the ground and make her punish her there?
It's a wrap if that gets done. If that gets done, dude, it is a wrap.
Yeah. So I think, she's got to be able to hold it there. I think it's going to take her having to get her down a few times to really give some real damage. So Peña is going to really have to get up and stop those takedowns. And if that can happen, then her likelihood of winning goes skyrockets, because not only is that Kayla can't get her to where she wants, but also that's a lot of energy spent on takedowns that are tempting or getting them down and getting back up. It's a lot of energy spent. So is it all going to be there? Is she going to be able to hard weight cut? Is she going to be able to maintain the pace? The cardio going to hold up if these takedowns are stuffed, or she keeps getting back up? Time will tell.
I am praying with all my being that Juliana Peña wins this fight, kills it on the mic, drops the mic, and retires. Like that, there is nothing for her career now. She has done it all, man. She's beat.
I'm telling you,
Nunes.
The fight that she's calling. She's calling for Nunes to come back.
No. There's no need for that. If you beat
Harrison, and if Kayla wins, it's Nunes too. But that is going to call for Nunes too. Which they're training buddies.
I don't care. I don't care about either. I don't care about Nunes coming back at all. I think it's stupid. Like she's.
I don't think she should.
Her family. No,
I don't think she should. I think if anything, it more potential hurting her career than obviously if she comes back and wins or whatever, it's great for her career. But there's also so much risk. She's already done so much.
No,
she's living happily with her family, doing great. Yeah. Everything she's already accomplished, greatest woman fighter of all time.
Right. You don't need this, dude.
I don't think you
need it.
No.
And the UFC doesn't need it either, because here's the thing: even if Nunes comes back and she wins and she gets the title, it's going to be like a GSP versus Bisping scenario. Like she's just going to go, all right, thanks. Okay, now I vacate again. See you later. And then now you create a paper champion. And so it's like, I don't need that. I want the lineage to be there. That said, I'm saying that I want Peña to win and then vacate. But whatever. Because it's a story. Because it'd be so funny. Because it'd be like, screw you. I'm not giving any of you a rematch. I'm out of here. I just made a couple more million in my life. I'm going to go live life with my daughter and my family. And you know what I mean? I just want to see it. I just do not think that. I just don't see the path to victory. That's my problem. Even if she has great striking, even if she can make it a dogfight, I don't know how you beat Kayla Harrison. And I feel like when she gets her down, it's going to be really, really bad. But that said, let's go to the main event. I don't want to spend too long on this one. Sean O'Malley versus Merab.
Yep.
Look, I am a Sean O'Malley fan through and through. That dude has made me a lot of money over the years.
Yeah.
Can he get it done, Bam Bam? Can he change up the game? Can he avoid the takedowns? Can he get up when taken down? Everybody gets up when Merab takes him down. That's why he has the highest number of takedowns in a round, because people always get up.
Merab is really good, and the fact that his name's the machine. I mean, he literally is a machine. The dude doesn't stop. I believe I've said this before on here. When Chito was fighting O'Malley the second time, and I'll say it again because it goes hand in hand with this as well, is I believe Sean and Tim Welch and their whole team are really smart and do really well at putting game plans together and, having a solid camp and working through them and really set them up for victory. And it's even 10 times better in a rematch. If they've already fought the guy, or even if someone they know has fought the guy, they're able to make the adjustments on the game plan and everything. I know in the Cheeto fight, I knew, the second time, Sean was going to win for sure. I knew the adjustments were going to be made, but I also figured that Cheeto probably wouldn't make very many new adjustments, which he didn't. And, Sean capitalized on those. Merab, I don't know. I don't really follow him a lot. I love to watch him fight and stuff, and he's a great fighter. I just don't see him making a ton of different adjustments. If anything, his adjustments would be to wrestle even more and not strike as much, especially because he's been very vocal about, obviously, Sean's power, which is, there 100%. So I do believe that Sean has what it takes to get it done. I believe he will get it done. And shock everybody again. And I think that's going to be because him and his team are going to have the ultimate game plan, and ultimately it's just going to be staying true to that. And he will, he's showing that he listens to his team, he listens to his coaches, and they are able to put it together. And I really like Sean in a rematch or someone who they fought before and everything. So,
I do think that if you are going to improve your level of skill in an area, I think that Sean O'Malley will be able to improve his wrestling skill better than Merab would be able to improve his striking skill. And so therefore I feel like the improvements that Sean will make will have more of an impact on the fight. Because if he can wrestle better, if he can avoid that a little bit better, his striking is so far better than anybody else in the division, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Merab will have a really hard time. And you can be a machine all you want. But, similar to when Sean O'Malley fought Chris Mutino and just bloodied him for those 3 rounds, that's what we could see lined up. We could see just a Merab getting smashed and smashed and smashed. And then your boy is the champion. So, very excited, man. Look, that is very exciting. That is UFC 316. That's going to be a great card. But then I do want to talk quickly before we go, Bam Bam. I do want to talk about this issue which came up. This is Erin Blanchfield. One of the quotes she said in her not even a post-fight, post-event speech was, she's a mess in every aspect of her life. And of course, she's speaking about Macy Barber, who had something go wrong at the time of recording this. I don't know that it's still really come out.
I said seen that there was a seizure.
Yes.
I've heard and seen there was a seizure.
Is that real?
Seizure. I honestly, I guess I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's what you're saying is there's no real proof on it. They had pictures. She posted something, not really giving in, very much detail, which is understandable. But of her at the hospital and getting checked up and that her life is not a mess or something.
Yeah, because I think that's the implication that Erin Blanchfield says and whatever. So now I've changed the label here to Timmy B's Conspiracy of the Week. It's not that the injury is fake. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that we saw it before when we had TJ Dillashaw fight Aljo. And if you recall in that one, he goes into the fight. We then realize his shoulder was extremely compromised. Within the first round or second round, his shoulder pops out, and that's it. That's a wrap.
Yeah.
We later find out that he knew that he had this massive problem, that it was their all camp, that it was blah, blah, blah. Yeah. He still shows up to fight and still goes in there to do that. My issue is with Macy Barber. I don't doubt that the seizure happened, or I don't doubt that there's some sort of medical thing. I don't think it's fear or nerves or anything like that. That girl is an absolute dominant killer. She's ranked number 4 or 5 in the division for a reason. She's incredible.
Yeah.
But I do worry that was something that maybe she knew, was a problem or that she knew she was having something medical, and she takes it all the way up to there to try to get into that fight, obviously with the intent to win. But my problem, Bam Bam, is that, you know, if you're going in there, and so I wrote this in our story on our story on our Instagram page, I just said what people need to consider is if Maycee may have known she had true health issues leading into the fight. If so, and if she was entering the fight week and camp compromised, knowing that she might not be able to fulfill the commitment, or even if that means like she couldn't give it her all, that's not cool, man. That's not professional. I do hope that she's okay, but I think that that's something that people have to consider is like, how much did you know that there was this problem? Because if that's the case, that's really not cool, man. And like, there should be some sort of not punishment. I mean, she already lost 20% of her purse, blah, blah, blah. Right. And like, this probably doesn't look good for her, but that's not cool, man. Because this really screws up Erin Blanchfield. Like, what does she do now? That was her ticket to the title fight. And now she's just sitting there. And it's not even like that. Even if she gets a title fight, you lost that opportunity to put your skills on display. All the people that showed up to watch you, all your family, all your friends, all that. And it's such a disappointment on so many levels. And if Maycee Barber knew that she was not 100% or that she was compromised in a way, but she was just trying to get to the fight to cash it in, or, you know, still attempt to win. But if you knew that you were compromised, Bam Bam, that's not cool, right?
So I feel for it, you know, honestly. I think it's a fighter's, you can say a fighter's curse almost, you know. Ultimately, they want to fight, and in any sense, you know, they believe that they're going to win. Now, obviously, there's some cases that have been shown where the fighter has an injury and makes it to the fight, but you know, betting on himself to lose, in a sense, you know what I mean? That with the whole betting thing that happened, you know, he was hurt, he went in, he knew, but bet on himself to lose, you know. I don't feel like that's the case most of the time. Like, I feel when people have, you know, all fighters have something going into a fight. It's never really, there's never not something that's bothering you or whatever. Some cases are worse than others, like the TJ Dillashaw. You know, and you have that, you know, I feel like you, in your mind, you know, you still believe you're going to win, you know, you're going to win, you know, obviously you can't get off of that, you know you're going to win, you're still putting in work, you're training hard for the fight, and you get in there and you do it. And, you know, you want to make it to the fight. And obviously, you know, you put a lot of time in, you put a lot of effort, you have family or whatever, bills and everything. Yeah, of course you want to make the money, but also like you want to win, you know, losing doesn't help you overall in the long run. So you go in there to win. So I definitely feel for that. Like, you know, I understand her trying to make it to the fight. If she did know, make it to the fight and go out there and put on a performance. I do feel like something at that severity of like seizures, like if she had a seizure in camp and, you know, knew that there's possibilities of having that or whatever, that kind of stuff is obviously a little more serious than,
scary.
You know, my shoulder's bothering me. It pops out, but I'm, you know, I can still fight and defend myself for the most part. And there's a chance I can just pop it back in and be fine, you know. That stuff is super scary. So as far as like, you know, the seizures and everything. And the thing is too, is you are getting checked by medical beforehand, you know, at weigh-ins and everything like that. They are checking on you. You know, who knows, maybe her having that hard cut, not making the weight really had something to do with, you know, what happened the day of the fight. I do really feel for Erin Blanchfield. Like you said, it's a great opportunity to show her skills and really cement herself for that title shot.
Stamp your ticket.
Especially when there's talk of like, you know, from Wei Lee coming up and stuff like that, you know, really kind of silence that with a win right there, you know, and fill that spot instead. So that's pretty, you know, a bummer for her. I feel for her, but also like, you know, I don't know what it is, what happened with Barber and everything exactly, but I do understand like getting to the fight and continuing to fight and stuff like that, and you know, put it on. But if it's too serious where you're going in and, you know, something's going to happen to you right away, you know, or whatever, like, then it's that's a shame, because also too, the other fighter there is prepared to really take you out, and for you to, really show their skills, and, like you said, make a stamp on what their next move is and moving up in the ranking. So ultimately it can hurt them in a sense too, but be safe for yourself. We hope, hopefully she's okay, really is really okay. And just take care of yourselves.
I really do too, man, because like, look, obviously you want everybody okay. Like we talk about all the time, we want people to have jobs, we want people to have security, we want people to do like whatever it is. That just plays in my head, because it would be so weird to me. It's just so weird if like some crazy medical condition for the first time appears when you're in fight week, on fight day, at fight night. Like the odds of that happening are just so small. And it's like, and then, whether it's the fighter themselves that push themselves to get there, or whether their team pushed them to get there, just all that is not cool, man. Like when there's real things like that, you got to take care of yourself. And I do hope that she takes care. Bam Bam. Look, man, I do want to give a friends of the podcast update. Killer Cub, Kiana Montenegro Cub. She wins a split decision at UNF, and it was an incredible fight. Bam Bam, I'm so happy for her, man. Everybody was messaging me that was there at the event and that was watching. Ringside Rain, of course, announced her as the winner in the cage. Apparently they were hugging it up a lot, and everybody was saying what an incredible fight that was. For that to be her debut as a professional MMA fighter and to kick ass on the UNF stage, which is a great organization, man. They're very friendly to this podcast as well. Congratulations to her. Can't wait to see what's next. Like all her kids, man, on her story, because she teaches like junior kindergarten and stuff like that. The kids were all watching. And then awesome. on her story, she had something where like they were making coloring book pages of her victory pose where the referee's holding her name. Somehow they made like a coloring book page, like where's the dark outlines, and then the kids were like coloring. Freaking cool as hell, man. So congratulations to Kiana. Like I'm so happy for her. She is so fantastic. And look, of course, this weekend, do not miss it, man. Fight League Atlantic, FLA 20, fightleagueatlantic.com. You can get the pay-per-view there. We are in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. It is at the Zatzman Sportsplex. If you're anywhere in the region, go out there and buy your tickets and be there, because nothing's better than live fights. But definitely fightleagueatlantic.com. Go there, check it out, man. Bam Bam. That's the end of this podcast, my friend. I'm so happy that you're here, that we got to talk about this. We don't normally break down fight cards, but those two main and co-main, I thought it was like kind of important. We both had vested interest in those fights. As lame as my vested interest is, but that's an exciting one, man. And so look, we'll be watching the fight. Bam Bam. Have a good one, my friend. Thank you so much for joining the podcast, buddy. And we'll see you next week. Next week's guest, not too sure, but we'll figure it out. Have a good one, my friend.
Good one. Bye.